Hi everybody. Today I want to talk a little bit about CBD. And where I'm working, everybody's coming in, people are talking about CBD. I'm hearing some fantastic stories. I always go towards what I think is the best at that time. And what's very interesting that's happening is I'm getting the confirmation with this. I don't work for this company, but I love to tell people about it. The company is called REA Botanicals out of Colorado. And the man that runs this company used to have a really good superfood company that he sold called Nutiva. And he also has written at least one, if not more, books that are published on Amazon about soils and healthy soils and composition. The company gives 1% back to soil regeneration. He's also been the one that's been lobbying for the last 25 years to get hemp sold on the shelf. Interesting, in 1850 there were hemp apothecaries in the United States. Until 1930 some, when the pharmaceuticals stepped in, and they can't patent this, so they definitely didn't want, but doctors were recommending hemp up to then. Hemp is the longest cultivated plant on the earth. I mean, it's like before Christ, 2,700 some years. So it's an amazing plant, but why, the pharmaceuticals are now trying to make their own and everything because, they want to make money. It's not about your well-being. But up until the 1930s, doctors used to recommend CBD hemp. This company is certified organic with the USDA. That's one reason I like. Other companies use organic farms, but they don't have their certification at this point. And you have to go through a lot to get this certification. So that interests me because hemp absorbs whatever's in the soil. So if Roundup's in the soil, it's going to end up in your CBD. This one, there's going to be no Roundup in it. So that's a big reason for me. And if I were to give it to Bree, and if Bree was still alive, I would be definitely doing the roll-on, which I'll talk about. Also, something you want to know is, when you're buying hemp, you want to know how many milligrams, what is it in the dosage. What I like about this company is they will say right on the bottle, this is 25 milligrams. Now, they have one for pets. It doesn't say on it, but it's 10 milligrams. I have people coming in with other companies, and they're starting at 5 milligrams for someone like me, when this company starts with 10 milligrams for pets. So I really, I like the idea of that. But according to the Mayo Clinic, dosages vary because bodies vary, needs varies. 10 milligrams on someone could be awesome. I met a man the other day in the store. He came in for his CBD and he told me his personal story, which was he was an older man, not, but working out in good shape. And he said it got to be where his arms here, he couldn't even lean against something without jumping back in pain. And it was his wife that started him on it. And 10 milligrams, it's gone. It works for him. Someone else, it could be, 1,500 milligrams you really have to find your sweet point. And what the sweet point means is there's like an arc. And you can start with your 5-10 milligrams, and up here you could have your 1,500, And someone who the 510's working on might go up to like 50, and 50 doesn't work because it's too much for them. So this is about, and something we're not used to doing in the West is listening to our bodies. So this is about listening to your body, and we want to take a bill and someone else to deal with it. God forbid, we don't want to listen to our body and see what its needs are. So, for someone who went up to 50, well, maybe they need to back up to 25, and or 20 milligrams. Some bottles, on the bottles, it says what's in the bottle. If a bottle says 300 milligrams, that's probably what's in the bottle. Look for the small print, and you'll see that that's probably 10 milligrams. just so you know, because people are walking in, doctors are recommending it because now they know the dangers of opioids. And this is safe, no side effects. So they walk in, but the doctor hasn't told them how many milligrams because they don't know. Or, so I find, give people some information so they know some way. And even like the Mayo Clinic says, start low, go up. And another idea is people will buy, a smaller bottle that's like 5 milligrams, and then they're using more and more and more. And so they end up really, like, what I like about this company is you start low. But if I were to buy 25 milligram, I would only take like a quarter of the dropper. And another trick to know is when you're dealing with tinctures of any kind, when you first open a tincture, this one has been opened already, but usually when you first open a tincture, it's always full to the top. That's not the true dosages. The true dosage is that, what I just filled up. Okay, so you see that. So that's really this is a 10 milligram for pets. Aside about using it on pets, is a really easy way to try it out on your pet, is just drop some on the ear, inside of that ear, and rub it in. Okay, that's the easiest, because not necessarily they're going to want to take it. So if you I did it to my, just rubbed his ears. And so they don't realize they're getting their ears rubbed on the inside, but they're getting CBD rubbed in at the same time. So that's for your pets, to start it on your pets. The other thing about the RE company, there was recently testing done by the Center for Food Safety. And you might not be able to see this well, but I'll go like this. So they graded 40, I believe it was 40 of the top CBD companies in the United States, according to A to F. And of the ones, there were only 4 that hit the A category, and they tested for 100 different pollutants, contaminants, what the food safety does. And there were only 4, and those were Fountain of Youth, Green Gorilla, Palmetto Harmony, and RE Botanicals, the one I have here, and that hit the grade A level. And of those being tested for 100 things, the one that got 100 out of 100 was the RE Botanicals. So this I only found out about a week or so ago, before I already thought it was a great product. So it just confirmed that it is. And what I want to show you here is, years ago I was familiar with, Charlotte's Web came in at grade C. So that was one that I was, and I think Bluebird Botanicals, those were the 2 that I have been familiar with in the past. And they both came in at grade C. Well, for me, I want to have the healthiest for myself and my child. And I want something really clean if I'm going to be using it on, if I had had this when Bree was alive. The other thing we all have in our bodies is something called the endocannabinoid system. The endocannabinoid system was only discovered, I think, in the 1980s. But it's a system we all have. And in a way, it sort of craves the CBD. What it does is it allows conversation, the cells to talk to each other. And it keeps the body in homeostasis, which is balance, which is what we need. So, this is stuff that you can continue on and research yourself. But everybody should know that they have an endocannabinoid system. And it deals with immune cells. It's throughout the body. Their receptors are found throughout the body, in the brain, the organs, the connective tissues, the glands, and the immune cells. So it's written ENCOBANNABINOID system. So it's an important thing to know about. And I'm saying this because people come in and they go, oh, it's too expensive. So then they'll go online and get a crappy CBD, or now it's being sold at gas stations, you know. So really, a good food co-op, you know, you'll get a good quality CBD. And I like this one, scoring 100 out of 100 with the Food Safety Board. It's certified organic with the USDA. That's the one that I'm gonna go for. Also what I love is they've come out with these, my God, the way I'm talking. When I love something, when I love a product, when I feel good about a product, I am enthusiastic about it, because these are tools. You know, these are wonderful tools to help people, you know, and I'm always go back to the food. I always go back to real foods. I always go back to eat lots of vegetables and fruits. You know, those are the strongest. But we all need some good tools too. And what I like are these roll-ons. And I think these are great for, this is RE has the roll-ons, they have one, and now everything's organic. So the roll-ons have some essential oils in them. Lavender, peppermint, and ginger lime. This is ginger lime. Tell you a story, a man came in the store and he showed me, and I was busy, you know, there were a lot of people, and he showed me his hand, and the arthritic on his knuckles was just, you could tell the man was in pain. So, you know, I was just busy. I had a tester. I said, oh, just give me a minute. I came over with the tester, and I literally went around his knuckles like that. I just circled around his knuckles. I could put a good amount on him. And I said, okay, you just leave that on. Rub it in if you want, if you're going to be using your hand. Because it's got essential oils, don't touch your eye afterwards. Anybody with essential oils knows that. I said, or rub it like this, you know, through your knuckles, do your whole hand. And I got busy with other people or whatever, and it was like, I didn't even know he was still in the store. And it was about maybe 5-10 minutes later, he comes back and he says, I want some of that. He already felt relief in his hand. I had a young man come in who had anxiety. He didn't tell me a lot about it, but we talked, and he was telling me how lemon balm, which I'll talk about, I've either talked about or will talk about again. He said, my mom raised me on this stuff. It's great for colds and flus, by the way. And he came in about 2 weeks later, and he bought some CBD. He bought this one, and he was, you know, he said, I had to get to 3 times a day. That's what worked for me. But he said, I didn't tell you, but my anxiety caused, for him, a difficulty swallowing. He'd get so anxious that he'd have difficulty swallowing. He said, within 3 days, that was gone. So, you know, that changes someone's life. That allows them to have a space of peace to think about where they want to be. Early in the morning, I was the only one in the store, and another man comes through, and comes in to get some CBD, and starts telling me, he said, by the way, when I came in here, I bought this for my wife. My wife has anxiety, and I bought it for her. But he said, you know, she's seen a doctor, and of course the doctor had her on some meds. And, you know, anxiety, I can tell you for sure, it's food and exercise, because I've been through a lot of it. And he said, so she wasn't taking it, so he said, I decided to take it. So he started taking the CBD. 2 weeks later, that's when he came in. He said, I haven't taken my allergy medications for 2 weeks. He said, that's unheard of. I'm always taking allergy medications. So he was doing something good for his wife, and not expecting that he was the one that probably might have needed it more. So and I get these stories all the time for, you know, anxiety, for pain. Some people, 5-10 milligrams, and it's taken the pain away. Other people have to take more. It depends on your body. And the one last thing I want to share with you. So please know, we will put a link on this video to this study so you can check it out. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about is there's different ways you can take CBD. You can take it sublingually, which is under your tongue, which is a great way to take it, and hold it there for, 30 seconds to a minute, because it'll absorb better. So sublingually like that, the approximate time that you're going to feel it starting to work is 15 minutes to an hour. And the approximate time of duration is going to be 4 to 6 hours. Then if you ingest it, you just take it straight in, the tincture. It's going to be, for the effects, it's going to be 30 minutes to 120 minutes. So 30 minutes to an hour and a half. And the duration is going to be 6 to 8 hours. And then topically, like this, and for me, I use this as a perfume. There's a lavender one. There's also, this is 300 milligrams per bottle. There's also a new one, mandarin turmeric, that's 500 milligrams per bottle. Because you can't know what a dosage is with a roll-on. I mean, because you're rolling it on. It's not like, you don't know if it's a drop, 2 drops, whatever. And there's a new, stronger lavender one, which is called Relax. So what I do is I just use it as a perfume. Behind the ears, okay? You can use it on your wrist, or just across the back of your neck. Like if anxiety and sleep, across the back of your neck before you go to sleep at night. Great to carry with you on the run. Stressful days, you just have that right there. So the tropical, for it to take effect, is 15 to 20 minutes, and it'll last 2 to 4 hours. So basically, ingested lasts the longest. It takes the longest to have the effect, but it lasts 6 to 8 hours. And the topically lasts the least amount of time. But you have the effect the quickest, if that makes sense. So hopefully this will give you some ideas about CBD, because I know years ago when I heard about it, it was for, could help Bree with her seizures. But I didn't know anything about the endocannabinoid system. I didn't know about dosages, and actually what I would have done if Bree were still alive, what I would have done is before sleep at night, after I've massaged her feet, and I would have put some just either down her spine or on the bottom of her feet, because the pores on the bottom of your feet absorb more than anywhere else in your body. And I would have started with the roll-on, and I would have used either the lavender or the peppermint. If she was fighting something, I would have probably used the peppermint. This company also has, for the ingested, a peppermint one for people that don't like the MCT oil. But everything's organic, just so you know, everything. And for me, that's really, really important. I also probably would have, in the morning, when I was dressing her, would have probably just went down her spine with that. And I would have probably used the mandarin turmeric for the pain. And she had a scoliosis, so I would have probably used that there. Just some thoughts, just some ideas, so you're not ending up buying a really crappy one at the garage station and thinking that it's equal to anything like this. It's just, I'm sorry, it's just not equal to anything like this. Comparison isn't coming into my head, but it's day and night, the quality and what you want to have. Remember, topically absorbs faster, and as you can see, and it's like magnesium. I take magnesium internally because it works together with vitamin D, but also one of the best ways to get magnesium is an Epsom salts bath, because it absorbs through your skin, or a magnesium Epsom salts, the crystals that you can get for your bath. So thank you.